Okay, so in today's video, no, I don't want the framing to be that. I want it to be like that. Okay, so good boy. Today's video, I want to talk to you about inner resistance. What is inner resistance? How to overcome it, and why. So this video sadly is more about me than it is for you. I've been facing a lot of inner resistance myself on what needs to be done, how to do it, how to feel about myself, and other people's opinions as well. So inner resistance is something that we could call, we could give ourselves a bunch of different names for it. We could say anxiety, we could say procrastination, we could say fear of success, whatever most accurately something those words mean to you. In any of the cases, the biggest thing that's happening is that you're not doing something that you either ultimately want to do or think you could be good at, or could, be good. You could be doing something good for others, if not yourself, right? If you're anything like me, I lived the majority of the beginning of my life serving others and doing what others thought would be best for me. I kind of didn't really, I didn't really have the introspection or the personality type to do what I wanted to do and to say what I wanted to say all the time. And, that really caused a lot of self-esteem issues for myself. And so I had to work through that. I had to, number one, start being aware of that, and number two, actively try and overcome that. So there were several different exercises that I did. There was a lot of different phases in my life, and I think the biggest thing that helped me was, first off, identifying and being able to say the problem myself to other people. But in order to get to that place, I had to first start saying things to myself out loud or writing things down, and taking the introspection and the time to really put things into words, right? I don't know if you're into any sort of fantasy, Lord of the Rings, or I'm sure you've been exposed to some sort of media that has something to do with like the ethereal, something that's not real, right? So when you have a ghost or a phantom or something that's not tangible within the normal speaking, I have this cup of coffee here. If you're not able to touch this cup of coffee, it's hard to break this cup, right? This mug. If you aren't able to put a word or a name to something, it's often harder to identify it or find, I don't want to say the resource to defeat it, but there's something that I read once where it's like when you go to the doctor and you're able to identify what your sickness is, you're actually healthy, because then you know how to combat it, or you know how to better your situation. If you just don't know what's wrong with you, you could be making things worse by, having a sprained ankle and walking on the ankle in the wrong way without it being properly supported. And in the long run, it could be worse and worse. If you know you have a sprained ankle and you tackle something like that right away, you'll be able to, heal it and recover faster. And in the long run, probably have a stronger ankle, because you'll have all of these tools to be able to use your stretches, to be able to identify if something's hurting or knows what shoes or something. I don't know exactly, but you get the point. So with the topic of, you know, whatever the title of this inner resistance, right? So the reason why I wanted to shoot this video, and the reason why I'm shooting it on my balcony here, is because I've been having a lot of inner resistance of not just filming these YouTube videos, but editing them, putting them out. I want the topics and the dialogue, and I want myself to look good, obviously. And, you know, I've been having a lot of, not just self-doubt, but just like, I feel like when I see myself, when I'm reviewing these edits, when I'm looking at them, sometimes there's something more that I want to add on. There's something maybe I didn't say, or maybe I didn't say things quite the right way. And so I wanted to shoot this video to kind of show what it looks like to overcome inner resistance, right? So the resistance for me and this exact topic is to put a video out on YouTube. So what I'm gonna do in this video is to just show as an example of overcoming inner resistance. And I know this is a really big topic with artists, musicians, filmmakers, a lot of those people, because a lot of it, you have maybe an idea or a feeling that's in your head and you don't really know the best way to execute or what it looks like in the end, but you know what it doesn't look like sometimes. So I'm just gonna put this video on YouTube unedited. I'm probably gonna sync this audio up with the visuals there. Hold on, let me shut this door. So something like this I would usually cut out, but I'm just gonna leave it in. I don't want flies going inside. So this is something that I'd usually do with my cat. I don't know if you saw him in the beginning there, but we usually sit here and I kind of just sit and think. And for me, I haven't been wanting to do these videos because I feel like I don't have a lot of value to bring. I feel like I don't have the right thing to say within the context of like a 10-minute video, right? So I face this around so I can see about how much time I'm taking, and I'm probably gonna shoot for like the 25-minute mark, maybe a little bit less. So we're at the 10-minute mark now. We're at the 8-minute mark now. So if you're watching and you find this topic interesting, or if you have some inner resistance for yourself, comment down below and let me know what your inner resistance is, or just if you have inner resistance, right? Because sometimes saying what exactly it is can be kind of scary. So if you have that feeling of inner resistance, just leave a comment down below and be like, yeah, bro, I know what you're talking about, or yes, totally, I have inner resistance, or just be like, IR, you know? So here's the thing, especially with something creative, sometimes it's not always overcoming the inner resistance. Sometimes it's just logically, okay, did you create enough time in your schedule to sit down and get distracted? Like, not only did you give yourself time to work on it, but did you give yourself enough time to sit down, work on it, get distracted, get up, get some water, go to the bathroom, then get back to working on it, right? Did you give yourself enough time? Like, do you know yourself enough that, are you the type of person that's able to sit down and schedule 30 minutes and you actually sit down and focus on that one thing for 30 minutes? Or are you the type of person that you set aside an hour and you really only work on it for about 10, 15 minutes out of that hour, and the other, you know, you're scrolling, you get interrupted by your kids, or you have to do laundry, or so on and so forth. And if you're that type of person, congratulations, you're human. You know, the bell rings, you gotta answer the door, something like that. Let's not be so specific, but a lot of times it's hard and you beat yourself up, right? So it's not just like that you didn't set up enough time out of your schedule to do it, but it's also like you feel bad because when you did sit down to work on it, you didn't actually accomplish anything, and then you beat yourself up for not doing anything, and then if you don't do it, you beat yourself up for not even sitting down to even try. I mean, look, I've been there, we've all been there, and the best thing to do that I've found, and here's where we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes. So the first half of the video is to just kind of wind things up. What exactly are we talking about, and what can we pin down? And then now we can get into how to eliminate distractions. So that's the first thing. Is for you, your distractions might be different than mine, right? Your distractions may be TikTok. My distractions might be YouTube. Some of you might be distracted by books, or by going out with friends, or gambling, music, whatever. Going outside if it's a nice day and you're like, oh, I don't want to be inside and work on this thing. I want to be outside. So the first thing you want to do is identify what your top 3 common distractions are. Okay? Just identify what they are, and if it helps you, you can write them down on a piece of paper or a note, notes app on your phone or computer or something like that. So write down what your most appealing distractions are. Top 3, okay? So once you have identified what your top 3 distractions are, what you want to do is set a time limit. How much time are you willing to put those things away in your day, okay? If it is 30 minutes in the afternoon, if it is 10 minutes first thing when you wake up, if it is an hour right before you go to sleep, determine what it is and how long you're willing to put away that sort of appealing distraction, let's say. Once you've done that, you have then created yourself space to start thinking about what it is that you are resisting. Okay? Now notice how I'm saying you don't want to start thinking about what it is now. I'm saying once you cut out that time, then sit down, stand up, or walk around. I like to walk around and pace. I do like push-ups in my room and stuff like that, or sit out here on the balcony or go up on the rooftop. Decide where you are during that time, okay? And then once you've done those 2 things, so eliminate what the distraction is, how long you're going to put them away, and then where you're going to be once that time is. So for instance, the thing that I'm working on now is when I wake up in the morning, first thing in the morning, for the first 10 minutes, I don't want to look at my phone. And that might seem like a big, nothing burger, right? But for me, I really want to start my day not looking at my phone right away. So I've determined that I'm going to be in my bedroom or the kitchen for the first 10 minutes of my day, or, if I happen to be in a hotel room or something. So I'll know where I am. So that way, when I'm in that situation, when I wake up, I know, okay, I'm in my room, and it's the first 10 minutes of my day, and my goal is to now not be on the phone for 10 minutes. Now you might say, how do I know when 10 minutes is up? Just use your inner clock. Just use what feels right if it's about 10 minutes. So now that you have that time out of your schedule, then start thinking about what you want to be doing with that time, right? Check in with yourself, check in with your body, check in with your emotions, check in with your surroundings, okay? Now so the reason why you kind of slow things down is because you might not feel like working on painting or let's use painting first thing in the morning. You might feel like you're like, I had this problem for a while where I would sleep like this and then sleep on top of my hands, so I'd wake up and my wrists really, really hurt. So I had to do like wrist exercises for a little bit first thing when I warmed up. You know, that might be an issue for you, and then you might feel like warming up your wrists and then eating breakfast, and then maybe get into some painting. And then check your phone. Oh, this is the other thing. If it's a distracting thing like being on your phone, checking Instagram, TikTok, something like that, once you're done with the 10 minutes, instead of just grabbing it right away and just be like, okay, the time's done. And then as slow as possible in slow motion, engage with your phone, which I'm assuming it likely is going to be. But whatever that distraction is, engage with it in a meaningful way and slowly so that you can actually enjoy it, right? So the reason why I've said these things in this order is because the process of overcoming inner resistance can take time, you know? But once you've put it into motion, what happens is you're able to overcome it calmly and proudly, right? So for me, my resistance for a while has been shooting these YouTube videos, editing them, posting them, finding the right, you know, there's like tags and things, the right title, and making sure that I look right. And today I just wanted to show, like, okay, this is what it can look like. Like, I haven't cut my hair, I haven't trimmed my beard. This is like a shirt that I wear around the house, Dead Kennedys, let's go. You know, I'm halfway through drinking this coffee. And I'm also, you know, I'm not at the end of the coffee, so I don't feel fully energized. You might not be able to tell, but I don't feel like my eyes are fully open, right? I'm kind of in a lazy mood. You know, internally, I just don't want to be around people. I don't really want to talk that much right now. I just kind of want to be a slump. I don't want to be looked at. I don't, you know, I did some laundry today. I just didn't want anyone to talk to me. You know, it's just, you know how it is sometimes. You're like, I just want to be left alone. So this is like what it can look like. And in contrast, if you see some of my other videos, maybe you can tell, maybe you won't be able to tell, but that's how I feel on the inside. And yeah, so that's another thing that I like to do is just take a breath. If you just saw, I just took a breath. Acknowledging how I felt, take a breath, and then continuing. So from here on, I know how I feel. And, you know, usually I do that inside, because I'm on the subway or something. You know, it's not necessary for me to say out loud, but, you know, I'm doing this just to be helpful. And so see how the breath isn't like a forceful, like, you know, it could just be like a subtle breath. I read this book called The Body Keeps the Score. It's a really great book. I got depressed after reading it, actually. The Body Keeps the Score, and also In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts. Those books back to back were pretty intense for me. But basically it's about that, just like your body can hold tension and like in certain parts of your body, like you have muscle memory, you know. Yeah, so those are my top tips of overcoming inner resistance. I think once you do those things, once you've identified what you're feeling in that time and space, the next thing is to take the first step towards doing the thing. Let's say it's painting, right? So what's the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to like you don't want to paint, right? What is it? Is it that you didn't clean your brushes? Is it that you don't have a canvas? Is it, you know, What is that thing? Cat's smelling around here. For me, I think it was right. I didn't have enough I didn't have enough space on my phone. So the first thing I did was just delete a bunch of photos off of my phone. I just did that a few minutes ago, 20 minutes ago now. Yeah. So take the first step, because what happens with inner resistance is once you start the action, so once you start getting into the movement of doing something, you get, not, I won't even say into flow state, you just get used to doing it, right? Like if you talk to Michael Jordan and you were like, hey man, at his peak when he's practicing and playing all the time, if you were like, hey, can you shoot a basketball into a hoop? Right, that's going to be way different than somebody that's like, their goal is to be the next Michael Jordan and they're just feeling some anxiety over it and they want to make sure their shot is perfect, you know. They might feel some sort of anxiety about even trying to shoot the shot. Or let's go back to painting. You know, if you like an artist, you're like, oh, I'll never be that good. I don't have that brush, I don't have those oils, I don't have that canvas, right? What if you just started? What if you just started with a sketch, you know? Oh, I don't have the right type of pens. Like, look, what you can do is literally go to a bank, steal a free pen, and sometimes they even have paper there too. And the best thing is just to start. Just start in the process and engage with it. Because once you find some momentum, like in momentum of doing this video, I didn't plan on doing this earlier today, and now we're almost 25 minutes in. You know, I only started with deleting the photos off of my phone. Okay, I made sure they were backing. I was like, well, I gotta make sure they're backed up. Like, okay, that took 5 seconds. Like, all I did was start with that, and that's all you have to do too. Just find the one thing that's holding you back. Find the time that you're usually not doing it, or that you're usually distracted by something else, and just try. Because once you start trying, once you're in a momentum of doing something, it's actually harder to slow something down. So in that painting, right, if you have a paintbrush and you put paint on it and then you go like this, it's kind of hard to stop to go to the canvas, right? Like once you go to the canvas and you're already on the canvas, you're already in motion. Once you get that first stroke in, or whatever that thing is for you, that first storyboard, that first draft, sitting down and writing that first word on the document. You know, if you ever watch that SpongeBob, the SpongeBob episode where he goes to write something and he's like procrastinating all night, and then he's like, yeah, baby, yeah, and then it's just like Sometimes that's all you have to do though, you know? Because then you get started and then there's one word on the page. Then maybe you walk away or something. So those are the first of many tips of how to overcome inner resistance, what inner resistance is, and you know, how to get started on something. If you'd like another video like this, or want to know how to determine what you should focus on, or how to determine, you know, yeah, I think that's usually the next step that a lot of people come over is, I don't know what to work on. I don't know what type of project. I don't know, you know, what it is. You know, I can tackle that in another video for you. Just leave a comment down below about what you'd like to see. You know, if you want to see more of the cat, you know, leave a comment. He's exploring the space because he hasn't been out here in a little bit. But that's going to be it for me today. And also, if you like this format of just like kind of relaxed verite, as they say, please let me know, because this is like actually way easier to make. I just know it grabs a lot less retention and a lot less attention. So I do want to shoot out a few of these every now and again. Yeah, that's all for me today. Thank you for watching, and subscribe. See you in the next one.